Abby.
Abby.
There she is.
Hi, friends.
Nice.
Hi, Ab.
Oh, another one with a hat.
Yes.
Oh, I needed, I haven't washed my hair since Nam.
Isn't it awesome?
Not good.
Sounds like the same discussion we just had earlier.
Giving your hair a break and your skin, it's amazing.
That's beautiful. Bob does not have a mic. Okay, so.
And Bob's technically Diane, just for the record.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we'll go through the boring stuff, which is all the profiles need to be updated. So really it's just gonna be command, one portion on your website and one portion on white pages. It's actually really not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So I will share my screen and we will start with white pages. So if you go to white pages, which is going to be in mykw.kw.com, and then once you land in here, and please yell at me if I'm going too fast, so just tell me to slow down. Once you're in mykw, right underneath your name, you're going to hit profile. And then we'll wait 4 years for my Wi-Fi to load. So bad. Okay. And the only spot that you need to check here is in your bio. I was actually not going to include this. I'm kind of surprised to how many people have something about Premiere in their bio. So if you have any sentence that, says I'm probably licensed with or I currently am, you're going to want to correct that. Little product placement.
New American Funding chapstick.
Chapstick. Okay, so once you're done with that, you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and save. Again, that one's really not too bad at all. And then we'll jump over to command. So for this one, you are going to want to be either in Firefox or Chrome, because otherwise you're going to have problems. And again, that's agent.kw.com. Denise, did you make it over to us? Is that a no?
He's not. Oh, Denise.
Bueller.
Oh, yeah, I don't see
You
it.
must be still lost. All right, one sec. Let's see if we can get her home. Oh, I sent it to her. Okay, well, here's to hoping. Let's jump back to good old command. Okay, so once you get into commands, you're going to come over to your name up in the corner. You're going to jump into settings. You're going to jump into and in 48 years. All right, there we go. You're going to jump into connect settings and then marketing profile. You won't need to edit anything in this profile because it actually doesn't have anything that needs to be edited. Okay, so now you're going to roll all the way down to right here. And here's where you're going to change the logo and then change the name. Does anyone not have the logo?
So that one is just, there's only the one option, correct?
What do you mean?
Like there's only one option to the logo, like there's not different options?
You technically could do the gray one, like the gray and black one,
Okay.
but you don't want to do any of the white ones just because it's going to sit on a white background.
Right, but like the itself where there's like that little space, like it's just one logo different.
Oh,
colors.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have one yet.
What me?
I think Carrie emailed it out.
Oh, okay then.
I'll have to look through my emails because I don't
Oh, I
have
saw it. I
Yeah.
guess.
I think
Yes,
it just came
she
through
did.
maybe yesterday.
Okay, then I just have to save it.
Yeah.
Scotty, I love your galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
Also, happy
You look
birthday.
so good, Scotty.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you, Abby. What's that?
I said you look like so good.
No, it's got to be the filter. You know what my problem was and why my video wasn't showing?
Bye.
The little slider bar. Are you kidding? Like on Sunday, I forgot to open the slider. Never mind.
It's like a whole new world now.
I know. Look at that. I didn't shower for nothing, right?
Right.
All right, so once you have that uploaded, you are going to, let me get my other screen out of the way. All right, you're going to roll on down. Again, you shouldn't have anything in the, and actually, this is a very perfect time to talk about this. So originally when when I would have sat down with you to, do I have Lauren or Bree? Hey,
Yes,
Bree,
I think.
could you go comment on that post, the correct link? Because now I'm seeing notifications, so I'm assuming people are now jumping onto the one I created.
It's I changed it on that landing page. It should be this one.
Did you see my post? Will you just comment the correct link on there?
Yes.
Since I'm leading people astray. Okay, so in here, if you originally sat down with me when the websites first went live, you would have added a separate footer text disclaimer because they hadn't added them like from corporate. So what you'll want to actually do is take this out because this is now added automatically directly from corporate. So you just have a duplicate if you have anything in here. So you can actually take that out entirely. And then same with any links. So you can trash those if you originally added links. That was before corporate had added it themselves. So we just wanted to be secure. And we no longer have to be. Thank you both. Bless you. All right, so once you make those changes, you can roll on down and save. And then you're gonna check one other thing. If you roll all the way up to the top, just make sure that this is still use my information to brand my agent site checked on. Toggle that bad boy over. All right, so now.
Did we change the Market Center brokerage name? Are we doing Select Realty or Select?
Correct.
Select Realty?
Well, the branding is Select Realty, is it not?
I think so.
Yes.
But
Brian coming in with the answers. God bless you. Okay, so now we're going to make one edit to the website. So even if your website's not showing correct as of right now, it's probably going to take, I don't know, it can be 20 minutes. So just give that a bit. But we're going to make one change. So if you jump on over to consumer, the last available icon. Shannon, are we lost?
Yeah, go back. Sorry, my thing was on top there.
Your what was on top?
Your faces were on top of my screen.
Oh, so right on the side, the last one, consumer.
Yep.
The last icon. So click that. So right now, for whatever reason, maybe because it's a Tuesday, but the pages themselves are being ready about it. So that we make sure everybody can actually do this, you're going to jump into site settings over here, site app settings, excuse me. And we're actually going to go through Kelly Guide to make this edit. So you're going to do learn more with Kelly Guides, and then you'll do agent site and continue. And all right, so with a lot of this, we're literally just going to tap through. So get started, acknowledge and continue. I don't know if we have anyone who has not made their site yet, but you might have some issues with this. So we might have to just do a separate meeting if you've not yet been in here and done this Kelly Guide. So for everybody else, you're just gonna do save and continue.
That would be Debbie.
Calling yourself out, I like it. All right, save
I
and
have
continue.
no problem with that.
And I might have to go into oh, there we go. Okay. So again, just save and continue on all of these. If I can, there we go. It's really riveting things that we're accomplishing today. And this is actually not going to be, not everyone's going to have to edit this. It's only if you added something about Premiere in your footer, which actually I was looking, a lot of people did. So that's why I'm including this, but it might not be relevant to you. So we'll see. Maybe. Here we go. Today. Okay. All right. So once you get to customize your site's content, I refreshed too fast. I'm patient. Maybe. How's everyone's isolation going whilst we wait for this?
Crazy.
Amanda. Really well.
Yes, I love being at home all by myself for the last how many weeks with no human contact.
Hmm.
Oh, I forgot. No fam.
No fam, so I'm here by myself in a big old house.
I might actually have to go through this again. Let's see.
Denise's link didn't work.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Do we have to like accept him?
See if we can get it. I suppose Tuesday was the best day to make command changes, but oh well. Okay. All right. So in here, you're going to go to content and then write down all the way to footer text. Just make sure that that does not have anything related to Premiere in it. It's totally up to you if you want to put anything in here. Know that it is going to show footer headline if you put something in there. So, I mean, you could do select now. It's totally up to you. Just make sure it doesn't have any inaccurate info. All right, everybody good on that one? At least one nod. Amanda looks happy to be alive. Okay, so continue until you get to the end. Scotty, next. Fret not. Actually, it will be tomorrow, depending on how much. We're getting there.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So continue and save and continue. And then once that rolls through, so you know it's saved, you can exit that window. If it ever saves. Come on. There we go. Okay, so before we get to, there we go. Before we get to email signatures, we're going to run through face pages. Too long. It's not other than the image, but we'll go through what those should look like. So you're going to want to hop into Facebook, into the book. And apparently, maybe I will get there someday.
Did you make it? Denise, is that you?
There you are.
There we
Welcome.
go.
You know what? I'm going to switch to a different browser. So 1 second. Try this. My Lord, Wi-Fi is not happy. There we go. All right, so there we go. All right, so once you're in Facebook, you are going to jump into your about. Come on, friend. And obviously his is going to look a little different since it's mortgage, but we'll go over what you guys need in there. Okay, so once you get into about, if you have not already done this, I want to request a name change right here. You're going to hit edit. And again, for compliance, it should technically be first name, last name, full brokerage. It'll say it's requested, but if you don't make any big changes, it normally takes like less than a minute. The one thing to note, if you have Premier in your username or your handle, which is this guy right here, that's the only time that that's going to affect if you have that linked other places. So if you have, let's say, Denise at Premier, whatever, anything related to that, and you want to change it, that's what's actually going to then need to be changed in every other profile. You have your email signature, commands, your website, all that stuff. Does that make sense? So if you're changing your name, it doesn't change the email. What was that?
Can you hear me? I'm trying a microphone here.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
Beautiful.
Question on
Okay.
this.
Yes.
So I changed to select yesterday in my Facebook, but I forgot to put realty. And so now I'm trying to go back and do that. Is there a time frame that you have to wait? Because it's telling me I just did it and I can't do it again.
There is. It shouldn't be more than 48 hours though. I don't believe.
Okay,
Yeah,
no
especially
biggie.
if it's not an expensive change like that. So I would try like tomorrow and see.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so in your about, so not the story portion, but the about portion, just a reminder to check and see if you have anything related to Premier in there. In there for compliance, you all do need to have licensed in Minnesota. So whilst you're in there, you might as well check and see that you got all the goods. And then make sure that in your story, this portion, again, I've actually seen a handful of people that have, mentioned I'm with this office in this bio portion. So you're going to want to make sure that you review that and take out or replace, I should say, Premier. Any questions on that stuff so far? Nobody?
Nope.
All right. So I'm going to show one thing with regards to cover images, just to clarify, but I won't force you guys to sit and design them, and then we can get to email segs. So if I were to go into command, just a couple things to note when you are either redesigning or designing for the first time for your Facebook cover. If you go into designs, just note that the dimensions for the Facebook cover image are about 48. So basically with any of the designs, what I would do is crunch it at least a little bit smaller and make sure there's nothing directly on the top line or the bottom line, because it will get cut off. So if I go into designs, social, and next, just a few things to remember, maybe. And then of course you're gonna wanna have your lovely little EHO, MLS, and realtor logos, the brokerage logo. In Minnesota, you don't need the ownership statement, but just for obviously with Kelly's preference, I'm sure that is a preference on all marketing, so you might as well keep that on there. And then, oh, I realized I'm in Safari. That was not bright. We'll switch again. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let's go back in here just so I can show you what I'm referencing.
by the way, I think it is just KWSelect, and then it's Keller Williams Realty. So if you just got KWSelect, I think you're okay.
Beautiful.
We might need to make that clarification because I know I'm confused. So we can say
Yeah.
Keller Williams Select or
It could be the lack of oxygen because you're outside the atmosphere right now.
you're right.
But I mean, the actual brokerage full name then would be Keller Williams Select Realty. Is that what you're saying?
Well, if you look at our logo, it's Keller Williams Select, and then it's Keller Williams Realty. It's KWSelect, and then Keller Williams Realty. So I think if you put Keller Williams Select, you're gonna be
I know, but because this whole thing is to try to be as consistent with each other as possible for compliance, I think we need to be really clear with everybody, whether they say KW Select, Keller Williams Select, or Keller Williams Select Realty.
I'm gonna call Carrie and see what they like officially submitted,
Okay.
and then I'll let you know.
there
Okay.
you go. Even better yet.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, if it's on the logo, I would assume it's Keller Williams Select Realty. If you have logo in there, your logo. If you have Realty in there, then you technically have to reference it. KW at the front's ignored typically, just because it'd be obviously super redundant. But some of them flip it, so Keller Williams Realty Select. So depending on which one she selected, I guess. I did not mean to use that word. Okay, so in designs, in business basics, social branding, Facebook covers, if I were to use this, so just the two things I want to point out. Today.
Abby, I think everybody's internet's slow today. I think with all the kids and everything being on.
Oh man! It makes me want to cry a little bit. All right. Okay, so looking at this, right about here is actually where it's going to sit, right above the O, if I were to include this. So just note that it's always going to be a little bit cut off on the top and on the bottom. So like I said, what I would honestly do is grab them all and then crunch them all together and make it smaller. Just so you know that they're not going to get cut off at the top or the bottom with like the important text. And then the other thing to note is that about here, where these little polka dots end, that's about where it stops showing on a mobile. So on a phone. So if I wanted to do, let's say, one of the cover images that has text over in this corner, if I'm on a phone, which is most people looking at Facebook, almost like 70%, then that wording is cut off. So keep that in mind for any design, that right about here, and what I'll actually send to you guys, this is something that I use. So I actually go to here, and this is what I use for any design that I am not good at guesstimating. So I'll go actually and use this little thing, if I can get there. Move out of my way. There we go. And I'll actually upload the correct dimensions so I can see it. So then if it decides to load, come on, friend. There we go. So then I'll actually have it and be able to see, okay, that's going to get cut off at that point. Does that make sense, everyone? Does everybody pick up what I'm putting down? So I can actually just do this, and then visibly, can't talk, visually, you see, oh, okay, if I have text right here, it's going to get cut off on a mobile device. So that's another thing to keep in mind. All right, how is everyone feeling about FB? The Facebook. Any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, so let us jump to.
All right, I have an answer.
What was it?
I have an answer. Keller Williams Select Realty. Everyone must use Realty.
Beautiful. Okay, let me pull up one thing before we jump to email
Son of a-
settings. Okay, let's see if I can send. Okay, so I'm going to attach a file via the computer, via the chat, and in that file, it's kind of a big file, so we'll see how long it takes. But in that file, I'm going to give you guys, where's my stuff? Apparently, I can't look for things and talk at the same time. There we go. So I'm sending you guys the actual style guide for colors and their fonts. And I'm also going to send you little examples of potential email signatures that you could use. So depending on what we want to do today, if you want to just base it off of command, there's obviously multiple services you could use. Okay, so the first one's uploaded. And again, that's going to be all the color codes for Keller. So that includes both the reds, the 3 grays, and then the 2 teals. And then you can see the hex code. That is what you'd actually use in Command or Canva or whatever editing service. So you can have that as a saved color in Command, or just use it to create one graphic with that color. That also includes the text or the fonts. Not gonna lie, not that many people follow that because you can have your own fonts as your own brand. It's not that big of a deal. But if you want to ever use them, you absolutely can. And then in 3 years when that uploads, we'll go over different email options, email signature options. Ed, what's happening? Oh, that is a dog. Whose screen is that?
Denise, I have phone down there.
Denise. Like I said, it's kind of
Denise.
oh, it's so cute. All right, let me pull up. So while we wait for that to load, I will share my screen. Come on, little friend. There we go. Okay, still loading. Oh, almost there. Okay, so that's in the chat, but I'll also show you via the screen. So this is what we're gonna go over, and we'll kind of see what everybody thinks on what they want. But there's multiple signatures for designing them. So you can either do, just for free options, obviously you can find whatever, but these are the ones that I'm aware of. So first one is an example of command. So that's one of the styles. Obviously there's going to be multiple in there. That one was made in Canva. So keeping in mind, that's not going to be live links. That's the one kind of bummer. You can absolutely add icons below for like social media websites so they can click them. And we can go over that, but just keep that in mind. This is going to be YStamp. Some people use that. It's just a free service for Gmail, or not just Gmail, sorry, any email service. SB, that's going to be, I'm not going to try and say that. It's just signature. Signature. And then this is just 2 ideas for you. So all of those are included in that file if you want to pull it up yourself. But I did want to ask you guys, do you want to go and walk through doing it in command? Does anybody have a preference? Do you just want me to go over yes to command?
Yeah, because I couldn't find it. I played for 20 minutes and I gave up.
Okay. Okay.
Then will you show us how to do it in Gmail too?
And add it? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So let's jump on back to wherever my screen was. There we go. There we go. No. Okay, hold on. Let's bring that back. There we go. Okay, we're back. So let's just start, just in case for the people who jumped on again, let's start just from agent.kw.com, so the and homepage. There we go. Okay, so you're gonna go into designs. It always helps to obviously pop that bad boy out so you can read what each one is. Then we're going to go to the plus down here and social and next. Sometimes it does take longer for this to load in general, even without slow Wi-Fi, because it is technically going into a different website, which is Rebrand. So that's why it's a little bit slower sometimes. So on the side, under Business Basics, that's where you can find the email signature. So right here, you're gonna have two options. You can obviously choose either one and then edit it as you like. It's totally up to you. And then you're just gonna click the lovely little pencil, pop that bad boy open. There we go. Okay, so for these, let me move this around a little bit. There we go. Okay, so if you have not added your own photo, you can obviously come over here to add that. You're gonna upload it. If you have a higher quality or higher resolution one, that one's ideal, but since it's web, it's not the end of the world if it's not extremely high quality. I'm gonna add the logos whilst I'm in here. And what I would do is grab the P's. So again, the difference between the PNG JPEG, PNGs can maintain transparency. So that's why you don't then get that ugly like white box behind it. So right here, you'll see the file name or file type, excuse me. Okay, so once in here, I usually start with the bigger pieces first. So obviously add your photo. I'm gonna leave this beautiful man in here. Then I would switch to the name. So keep in mind too with the name, you can switch it up. You could do, now all I can see is this guy with the name Abby. So you can do things like being
Abby, you cut out.
have that out.
We lost you. Hello?
I hear you, Shannon.
Hmm.
I'll text her.
Frozen Abby.
She's gonna rejoin. Yeah, she is.
Yay! Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hallelujah. We back. All right, so let's jump on back to, all right, there we go. We're back in business. Okay, so I don't know when I left the day, but in your name, so I normally do the bigger pieces first. So I would add your photo. In this case, I'm going to leave this beautiful man since I won't be using this email signature. Okay, like I said, I normally do the bigger pieces first because that usually helps somewhat guide how you're going to design it. So at least you have some of this stuff in place already. So first things first, depending of course on the background, you're going to want to add the DBA logo. So you're going to, if my internet stops freezing, you're going to click this. You can just hit delete. Then you're going to click whichever of the logos you want. In this case, that's not going to work. So we'll upload the white one. And just as a general frame of reference, it's really not going to make that big of a difference, but typically CMYK is going to be for print. RGB is going to be what you want to use for web. Oh, I'm in Premiere, I just realized. Wait, no, I'm not. There we go. Okay. So, like I said, depending on the background.
Can we back up for 1 second? Which one do you use for web?
For web is going to be RGB. It really won't make that big of a difference, but CMYK is typically going to be print. I should say typically, that's the ideal. And then RGB is going to be for web.
Okay, thank you.
Just going to grab all of these whilst I'm here and upload them. Does anybody have any questions on the logos and adding those or adding photos? Okay, so I would just grab this one. I'm going to resize by pulling in on the corners. So remember, ever to do this in Canva too, remember that it's this to resize on the corner, not this on the sides, because that's going to actually just crop the photo. So if you have like a logo, obviously that's not going to look too pretty if you accidentally do that. So you'll throw that wherever you want it to go. It really doesn't matter where it's placed compliance-wise. You can put it wherever you want. Of course, this law just changed about it being more prominent and stuff, but just be careful with that too. I know Michelle, the attorney, said something to the effect of basically if they want to fine you for the logo being too small, they're going to fine you either way. So just be careful with how small or big it is. Technically, like Chris, I know, posted, it's legally, it just has to be on there and visible, and it doesn't have to be more prominent anymore, but just be careful. Don't make it teeny tiny because you get in trouble. So just keep that in mind still. So with the name, of course, you can pick whichever font you want. Like I said, you could do something like one is a bold font, one is a lighter font. It's totally up to you and the look that you're going for. Yeah.
On the name, Keller Williams Select Realty is what Carrie said the name officially is, correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay, so the Department of Commerce is going to want to see Keller Williams Select Realty.
No, the name is KWSelect, Keller Williams Realty. The reason why it's Realty after Keller Williams is because the state of Minnesota requires brokerages to have Realty next to their name. So that's why it's Edina Realty and whatever. Our name with KW is just KWSelect. But okay, next to the Keller Williams, Minnesota some states require Realty to be added next to Keller Williams and some don't. So the name is Select, but Keller Williams Realty, it always needs to say Keller Williams Realty.
Okay.
That's what we were told from the state and then with KWRI. So.
All right.
Does that help? Does that answer the question? Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't mean to cut in,
Okay.
but.
All good. I'm glad we're getting answered because that would be not ideal to not know. Okay, so in here, you don't technically have to have two numbers. Compliantly, you can get away with just one. So you don't have to have an office number if you don't want to. I know a lot of people don't typically want to. In Minnesota, you don't have to have a license number, which is always a hallelujah because I think it looks a little sad and ugly. Just personal opinion. If you use Realtor, just like it is in here, you do have to have the little registered symbol. You don't have to use Realtor. It's basically personal preference, but obviously I would say that it has a little bit better or higher class connotation than real estate agent usually, but again, it's totally up to you and what you prefer. For the slightly hideous EHO, MLS, fun stuff, what I typically suggest you do is once you're done with this, actually just add it in Gmail in the text below. So I'm gonna jump into, if I can find my little window, there we go. I'm gonna jump into the chat and I'm gonna share the disclaimer to use, and that will include then the little EHO. Well, we'll see if I can send it, otherwise I'll email it out. So one sec, let me pull that up. And again, that way you don't have to add that into the actual image, which is really nice because it doesn't look quite as horrific then. I personally hate logos. I think they're so ugly. Okay. Pull it up. And then what we'll maybe do, just so I'm sticking with the time, is I'll show you guys how to add it to Gmail, just because I know that can be a problem more so than even designing it. What do you want me to email, Debbie? The disclaimer, is that what you're referencing? We're gonna assume yes. Okay, yeah, so I can't send the little images, so I will just spell it out. I will make a note to send that out. So let's jump back. And actually, Erica, are you still on here?
Yes.
Did you upload your signature?
I haven't redone it yet, no.
Okay. We'll assume that that's probably going to work for you, so I will say that way too. Okay, so if you are having a problem with, and let me actually share this so I can show you what we're referencing. So if you're having a problem with when you download the image, it coming out really blurry. So there's two ways you can basically fix it. So for whatever reason, and this happens in Canva and any really free editing programs, there's basically a discrepancy between when you download a file and it being able to maintain the resolution and the quality. So if I were to download this, a lot of times it's going to come out, even if I have it on the highest one, doesn't matter if it's JPEG or PNG in this case. So even if it's on the highest one, sometimes the quality still drops. So let's see if it's ready. There we go. Can you guys see this photo?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So you can all see that it's kind of horrifically fuzzy. Like that's some sad stuff. So for whatever reason, like I said, it happens in a lot of programs. So here's my suggestion. What I would do is quite literally take a screenshot of your signature. So for PC users, it's going to be just literally go to your little search button, your little home thing at the bottom, and search snipping tool, and that would be yours. Otherwise, Mac, it's just Command-Shift-4. So you quite literally would go like this, get it as exact as possible. You can always crop it and screenshot it. And now that, the difference between that one is going to be pretty extreme. So I'm going to jump into Gmail and I'll show you the difference between both of those. So this would be how you would go about adding it. So once you're done, you're going to jump into Gmail. Does anyone use any other email service providers? Not service providers, but any other than Gmail?
Yeah, I use Apple, but
who was that?
I said, this is Carissa. I said I use Apple, just my mailbox on my Mac. So it's a little bit different.
That's what I use too. It's Gmail, but I use it through the Mac.
Yeah.
Right. Which is really, that's actually easier than Gmail in my opinion. Okay, so.
Tell John that.
John, boy. Okay, so once you get into settings, I'm sorry, I just totally got distracted. So you go into Gmail, gear icon, settings. You're gonna roll all the way down to right here. So once you get in here, I'm just gonna show you the difference between that first one and the screenshot. So here's the first one, I believe, yep. So we'll upload it. And there's one other route if you cannot screenshot for whatever reason. So now if I save that and I open this up, it's pretty fuzzy. Let me pull this over here. So it's not terribly clear. So now if I go back and let me not send an email with that as my signature. So now if I go back into gear icon settings, roll back down, we'll cut that out. And then again, you're gonna do insert image, you'll do upload, select file. In this case, we'll go to our desktop for this beautiful screenshot. And eventually, maybe, there we go. And if it's massive, which a lot of times it is, you'll click it once and try large and see how you feel about that. If you do not, this is kind of a weird hack. If you are still not liking it, this happened to, I think, Darren or somebody the other day. If you're still thinking it's too small, so I'm gonna save it just so we can see. If you're still like, it's kind of, I can't read it, what you'll actually do is you'll go into a new tab. You'll go into Google Docs. The reason that you go through here is because it's going to keep the formatting. So what you would actually do is just create a blank doc. You should also be able to do this in Microsoft Word if that's easier for you. Is everybody following? I just want to make sure I'm not going way off the deep end. Okay. So if you don't like the size, you're going to come in, make a blank doc. You're quite literally just going to go in here and then insert. Image, upload. Grab that screenshot. And then put it to the exact size that you like. So what I usually do in here as well is I'll actually add the disclaimer. Let me see if it's still copied. Yes. Okay. So I'll add the disclaimer in here as well so I can make this text Arial just because that's a basic font. And then also so I can make it very small. So I'll do like, let's see if it'll take 6. And so now what you're going to do is grab it all. You're going to copy or whatever shortcut for your computer. Then you'll come back into your settings. Come back to your signature. And then paste. Now you do want to make sure for that paste that you do your shortcut for your computer. So I don't know what, you might have to Google search it. I don't know what the PC shortcut is. I just know Macs. It's like 0174, something like that, sorry. But you're gonna wanna make sure that you use the shortcut because that's actually what's going to maintain the, like, what's the word I'm looking for? basically maintain the size, the text, et cetera, that you used in here.
How do you
Does
do
that
the
make sense to
shortcut, Abby?
everybody? That?
How do you do the shortcut?
Yeah, you lost
So
me
for,
there.
for Macs, it's Command V. For, this depends on the PC too, but let's see. Like 0174, let's see how close I am. Not at
Control V works. Are you pasting? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Control
Oh my
V.
God, what am I thinking
Control
of?
V or Control Insert.
I think I'm literally thinking the register symbol. I don't know. I'm going insane. Anyway, so Control V, like a normal person, just maintain that. Like I said, it's basically like the back end coding of the size. Does that make sense to everybody? So that's how you're going to get it a little bit bigger, because a lot of times the like original versus the large are not, like, there's just very minimal edits that you can do there. And then right here, like I said, this is where I actually throw in those not that attractive little photos, so that you have, you still have it in there, but it's not right in your beautiful design.
Can you email that portion to us?
Yes, yep. And then the other thing too, and I'll send both of these, what I will put into, or what I do suggest some people put into their signature, depending on what you're sending out, is all information deemed reliable but not guaranteed. So if you're sending any like statistics, rates, like stuff like that, it's just good to cover yourself
Right.
and make sure that you're not putting anything out there that's potentially going to come
Yeah,
back
if
to
you
bite.
could email that whole thing, that would be fantastic. We could just cut and paste it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Thank you.
What was the other thing I was
So
going to
there's
say?
not something you have to do after cutting and pasting the picture. You don't have to go to the end of it and hit space a few times or something. I've just struggled with this before. But I was thinking I had to do something after the signature.
This is probably what you're thinking of, and thank you, because that reminded me of, so for a lot of people, they want to then add their social media. So what you can do, I'm going to just take this out so I can use it as an example. So what you can do, and I'm sorry because it's adding 700 steps and people are not going to be terribly happy about this, but I will email this out since I'm going to try and rush. Carissa, do you have a 1 o'clock?
No, I do not. We're done. So
Okay. All right.
we did it on a separate Zoom, so we're good.
So, so if you want to add, say, social media icons, website, download my app, any of that, below right here, if I had kept that image, you can go to Icon Monsters, Monsters without an E for whatever reason. Flat icon, again, I'll email these out so you guys can have them, but basically what you do is go Facebook, and let's say I pulled, all right, so I want to do the circle. You can pick whichever one you want. Right up top here, you're going to switch from an SVG to a PNG, again, maintaining the transparency in the back. And then right here, so this is kind of nice to know, this is where you could actually go grab, let's say if you wanted to use the teal. So let me open that style guide back up. Boop, 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 boop. Maybe. So right here, where's my window? There we go. Oh.
Do you want the number, Abby?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
It took me 40 years, but we got there. Okay. So if you wanted to pull up, let's say you wanted to do the dark teal, you can actually just copy that. You can pop over here. Let's do, where am I? I don't know. There we go. So you can pop over here and you can actually just paste that in, and then that'll pick up the color you want. Depending on the size, but typically for those icons, you're going to do size 24. Because again, it's going to look blurry, but it's so small that you won't even notice it. So it's not a big deal. So then what you would do is you would go to I agree, I would download. And then once you have that, you can come back to your settings Again, you're going to, and just remember to do that size, because otherwise you have to resize and try to get the exact size of each one the same, and it will drive you insane. So you're going to go to upload. You're going to grab that file that you just downloaded. If I can find it, there we go. So again, it'll look very, very fuzzy because it's so small, as it should. Then here, and Scotty, you can remind me or tell me if this is what you were thinking of. This is what you'd highlight, the little link, and then that's where you're going to actually add your Facebook page. So you should be able to just do, and you can always go copy it, of course, but you don't have to do the HTTP necessarily. You can just do this, and then whatever your handle is, which is what we just talked about. So that's not the name, it's actually just what follows facebook.com. And then right here, I've actually had a couple people accidentally do this. Just note that this is only if you want text to actually display. So only put in the web address right here where it says web address. No need to actually put it in text to display. And it doesn't have to just be social media. So you can do things like, let's see, I think app might have it. Let's see, otherwise it might be like cell phone. Let's see. Let's see. There is one for app. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so like some people will do this icon and then do a link to download their app. You could also do email, and then again, you'll notice when we are highlighting this, there's also an option to do an email address. So if you want them to be able to click that, you can absolutely do one of these. Again, there's two options. So the other one's going to be flat icon. That personally is my favorite. It has a little bit more options, but it's the same process basically. You just go to whatever, let's say you wanted to add Insta. So I'd go Instagram. And then I'm going to find which one I like. You'll see these are the ones to pay for. So if you don't want to actually pay for those, avoid those. These have the original, the brand accurate colors, which is kind of nice if that's like the look that you want to go for. But same process, you'd come into here. I do believe you have to be logged in, whereas Icon Monster, you don't even have to have an account. But again, you'd resize. I don't think I'm logged in on here, but, and then you could change color as well. We're gonna ignore that because I don't want to log in. Okay, so let's see. Now that I was rushing because I thought I had to for sure be off at 1, what questions do we have for moi? Anybody?
So
Scott, okay.
when you're putting these icons in, are you then putting them into command?
No, this would just be in Gmail because this is what follows, like right after your
right after the email signature.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So if you wanted to add them, and you don't have to by any means, but I was wondering, Scotty, is that what you were thinking of?
No, it's when Brittany and I were trying to get the image, because I already have like the Facebook icons and I link directly to agency, but just the picture itself, like once it got in there, I had to space 2 or 3 times and then hit return, and then I could never get it to work because I couldn't get to the far right. So I don't know. I give up.
Can you explain it all over again?
Yeah, maybe whatever you're
Shall
going
we
to
run
send us,
through?
that'll be a good start. And I think we have to play with it.
Connie, yes, Connie, Carrie emailed out the logos. So you can find them there. I emailed them out. I don't know if Lauren's emailed them out. They're floating around your inbox somewhere, but I can send them out too if that's easier.
I have the logos. I have everything. It's just all the other stuff that's
The
complicated.
instructions of the stuff you went through today.
All of the above. So
Like
Scotty, you were probably also referencing. What was that?
I don't know if it was someone else talking, but the disclosure, like the exact language, I would love to know where that has to be and exactly the wording.
The disclaimer, is that what you were talking about?
Yep.
Yep, so that would just go right below your signature. So as far as I'm aware, you don't have a text size minimum. I think it's gonna land at 8 anyways in Gmail. Like for us in the mortgage, it has to be above a 7, but I don't believe you guys have one at all. So, but if you keep it above a 7, you're totally fine because that's completely legal. Email out that. I will also email out both of those icon websites, service. Sorry, because I actually was rushing, thinking I had to be stopped at 1. But what would help you guys, if you are confused, as it sounds like a few of you are, what would help best? Do you want to go over this specifically again tomorrow? Do you want to go over it right now? What would be the best option? Because I know there's only so much designing you can do mid-video call, so I didn't want to expect you guys to sit and design it right now.
I think maybe if we can go through, if we can go through, like, I have a whole page of notes, go through and do what I can do, and then maybe we can do it again, tomorrow would be an awesome idea, because at least we can get through what we understand and what we can get through. Is there ways to like record like these calls or these Zooms, or no?
It is currently being recorded, and then we will be putting all these recordings on that landing page.
Cool. Okay, because sometimes,
at some point.
Yeah, that'd be awesome too. But I say if we can do it again tomorrow, that way we could all just sift through what we can get through and then kind of have questions ready. Maybe that would be awesome.
Yeah. So what I have, so let's just do a little review, because I want to make sure it's as, I want to make sure these rebrand classes are exactly what you guys need. So this is what I have on my list, if I can find my list. Where am I? There it is. Okay, so this is what I have on my list. So we did Facebook today. Here's my thoughts is if you guys want, if you feel comfortable enough working on, let's say, Facebook cover image and your email signature, and then tomorrow the start of that class can be entirely on that. And then the other things that we have to cover are, let's see, LinkedIn, which is, again, it's going to be a fast one. It's really just updating. And then if you guys want to do, we can go over signs or business cards. But again, since those are a little bit more complicated, I didn't want to make you guys feel like you had to sit with a group and attempt to get it done. So it's all of this stuff is absolutely anything that you can book a one-on-one appointment to. But I think, for the next appointment, that completely works for me. If we want to just we'll run through LinkedIn, because like I said, it's just really going to be updating. And then we can go over Facebook cover images, questions on them, and then email signatures round 2. How does that sound? Good, Gron. So I'll send you guys, I'm going to send you the book cover image dimension thing that I showed you guys that shows the mobile versus desktop. I'll send you the email disclaimer, both versions, and the images you can include with that. And then I'll send you both those websites. But again, like if you get stuck, just know that we'll cover it tomorrow. So it's not that big of a deal, but you can email me too if you're like, I'm stuck on this and I can't move forward.
Can I ask a quick question too?
Yeah.
Now, I think both, I don't know if you and Chris are both on, but so on the stuff that like Carissa's doing, like she created some templates or whatever, how do we, this might be a dumb question, but how do I like get that into Command, like where I can just add my logo, or where do I do that? Like if she's creating these templates, how do I just use a template? But then
let me pull up, where was I? No, I gotta move my little, there we go. Let's see before I make a false hint. So she would need to go into designs, and she probably already know. Carissa, are you on here still? I don't think she is.
I don't think so.
So she would actually need to go.
Sorry, honey,
and share back link. Oh, sorry. So she would actually need to go, and I'm assuming she was just sharing, just like to share the images, but she would need to actually go in and share the link like you would in Canva, if you ever
Okay.
did that.
Yeah.
Because obviously to get it access to it, you'd have to have like the literal link.
Right. So what she's just posting on Facebook, we would have to get through command to do any edits for our business. Okay. That's what I thought. But I thought, well, maybe if she's posting them, I'm totally missing something. So, okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean, you could upload the photo, but the quality decrease doing that, yeah,
Right.
wouldn't make it worth it.
Okay. Okay. Super.
I saw a chat. There we go. Oh, good deal. Good deal, Connie. Okay, any other questions? Like I said, I'll email instructions too, but just know that shoot me an email in response to, and then we'll go over, we can really go over it all over again if we want tomorrow.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby.
You're welcome. Bye.